Water woes, concerns over dark, murky water plaguing Southwest Florida beaches still continues. And I'm joined this morning by Heim with the statewide group Floridians for Clean Water. He's here to tell us a little bit more about where this is going and how you can actually help out and keep Southwest Florida waters clean and clear. So good morning to you, John.
Thank you.
So good to see you here this morning. Where exactly are we in this discussion over this clean water opposed to the dark, murky water? We were talking a little bit in the break here about maybe when we stop mentioning it, people think it's not going on anymore. But what can you tell us about where we are?
I think we're definitely in a state of mind of out of sight, out of mind.
Right.
And when we're dealing with the discharges directly through our wet months in the summer, we're dealing with something that's even worse, which is called collective myopia, which is actually turning a blind eye to an ecological disaster. What we need is more citizens and people to get more involved, educated, aware about exactly what is going on with the discharges from Lake Okeechobee, and to get involved to protect their own community.
And, you know, in a nutshell, I know we don't have a whole lot of time in this interview. What is going on with Lake Okeechobee, to sort of sum it up, I guess, for those who may be a little confused?
Well, you know, to cut right to the chase, basically the way Mother Nature used to have it, the water used to flow south. It used to come from the top of Kissimmee into the lake and come right down to the Everglades. Basically, the sugar industry has taken over that land there. So the discharges began from the east to the west. So we work as a united front from the east and the west as activists bringing attention to this cause. What our major push is to send the water back south naturally like Mother Nature had intended. What we need to do is have that land purchased right below the lake from the sugar industry to actually send the water south.
And you guys have, or I say you guys as in the group that you're a part of, we were talking a little bit too about how this is really a citizens movement and how you're joining forces with the East and the West Coast and also with politicians. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think for the first time in our state's history when it comes to activism, we're seeing a citizens group really bunching up well together with ecological organizations and also working together with politicians. Well, we work with a group called the Sierra Club, which many are familiar with, the Conservancy of Southwest Florida, influential people such as Ray Judah here locally, and all the way through the East Coast, Jackie Lippisch-Thurlew, Marty Baum, the Indian River Keeper, and the list goes on and on and on. So it shows that regular people are actually getting into the doors with politicians and ecological orgs and making headway for our children's better future.
Absolutely. And, you know, we talk about tourism here in Southwest Florida. I mean, season, as we call it, is kind of winding down. We're getting into the summer. How do you see this affecting our tourism if things are not done? Yeah,
I think that this is the #1 issue when it comes to our area. You know, we are 100% tourism based. If we're not to step up to the plate this year and really recognize this and meet this head on with our local mayors when it comes to Fort Myers Beach, Sanibel, and the affected areas, we're going to lose tourism. The cat is getting out of the bag, so to speak. Last year's numbers kind of spoke to that fact. In the months of August and September alone, we have a huge European sector that come to Fort Myers Beach and to Southwest Florida in general. We had astounding numbers of incredible rate of checkouts early, and not only that, but a higher percentage of European sectors said they would never come back to Southwest Florida because they felt deceived by what the pictures had shown and what the reality of the water was. So we have to meet this head on.
And that's such a disappointment for people living here to hear something like that, you know. So tell us about some of the events you have coming up for those of you who do want to maybe get involved or learn a little bit more. There's some events they can take part in. The first one, well, the ones that's on your screen is Fort Myers Beach Pier. You've been there for 25 years, you said, right? Living on the beach. Tell us about this event that's going to be happening.
Yeah, this one will be 2 weekends from now. We ask everybody to come out at noon. We're going to line the pier with a Hands Across the Sand event. A basic show of unity that our community is standing up for its local waters. We also have a closer event, which is this Saturday at the Naples Pier, which is another faction of the Hands Across the Sand to raise awareness for the drilling down there, which we're extremely against as well.
Right, which is, I know, a whole nother subject. So we'll save that for another time. John, I hope you can come back again and we can talk about that and anything else that's going to be going on. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Well, we are